again. I wanted to talk about some of the tools and buzzwords that we use here in Park Lane that we have found have brought us a measure of success. And we sort of touched on, we did touch on the wish list a little bit earlier, but I just wanted to make sure you knew the importance of the wish list. This is a really, really key tool in our business. What we do when we walk into a show is we literally walk in with like our little purse. And inside our purse is our tablecloth and our rollers. All we put out is our rollers, okay? Some hostess only would be a really good idea. So if they have something to play with, you already know that they're special and you can tell them that those are special. And then everybody at the showing gets a pen and a wish list. That's it. That's simple. I generally come into a show like 5 minutes before it starts. That's as early as I come in because I want to make my job look easy, which it is. And I also want, I just think with today's schedules and everything, people are really, really busy and they don't want you there too early. So again, we come in, we give everybody a wish list, and we put out our jewelry in the rolls. And this that Park Lane has made up, basically, or it's been the same way for 60 years, is called the roller method. And you guys, it's absolutely brilliant. I will never forget, because when I started the business, my national manager said, "Now, have you watched the video and do you know how to do the roller method?" And I was like, I haven't watched it. I'll probably just do it my own way. And she said, "No, you won't." And she was exactly right to make me go over that roller method. Absolutely brilliant. It causes anticipation. It keeps everybody with you. It's just, I can't imagine why other jewelry companies haven't started this because it works so very, very well. It's an experience. So you do want to do the roller method, which I'll talk about in just a bit. Wish list. You come in, you put out the wish list. Everybody's sitting there, you go, you know what? If you would just be good enough to fill out this top portion here with your name and address and email and all that, then you only have to do it once. That's the only time you'll ever have to put down your information because I'll take it from there. And then you say, and then just turn it over. And what's going to happen is I'm going to unroll jewelry. And as I unroll it, I'm going to say the names of it. I'm going to put it on people. I'm going to do a few fashion tips here and there. And it's your job, if you like something, to write it down. And I want you to write it down for a couple of different reasons. One of which is we sell all across the nation as well as in other countries. And we really want to know what you like because most likely the taste here in the Midwest is going to be a little bit different than the taste in Florida or a little bit different than the taste in California. And it's important to us that we see what you like. So if you would be good enough to write things down, that would be super. And the other reason is we have this really magical pricing. And that's when I go into the pricing, the customer buying plan, which I don't need to do again because we did that on a separate video. Go back and watch that if you haven't watched that already. But that's when I share the customer buying plan with the customer, okay? Now, the roller method, which we refer to, is really basically where you take the jewelry, you unroll it, like I'm doing, okay? Usually I would be standing, and you talk about the jewelry and talk about some of the fashion tips that you want to incorporate. I'm going to give you a little example, but I do a whole show on a different video, so you can watch that. But I would say, oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite pieces. These are called the Dominique bracelets. They come as a set of 5. They have all of the different metals in it, which is so key because Nate Berkus says, as well as some other fashion people, that you want to mix your metals. If you're not mixing your metals, you're looking old-fashioned and out of it. You want to mix your metals and you want to just do it like you mean it. You just have to own it, okay? So mix your metals. And this, Park Lane did it for you. They put all the different metals in here, so you're all set. Also, this happens to be one of my favorite things in the whole entire world. And when you pile all different bracelets on your arm like this is referred to as an arm party. I like to make life special, and life is special every day because I am wearing an arm party. Sometimes I have several arm parties a day, all different rooms of the house. No matter what anybody else is doing that day, I know that I'm having an arm party. Also, this whole part of you, your wrists, your fingers, all of that, is all part of what they refer to as your expressive zone. And ideally, you're supposed to decorate it. You're supposed to decorate your expressive zone. It brings people a lot of joy. So, since you're wraps, I can just do the little aside and just show you how, by using the roller method that way, it caused anticipation. It had everybody kind of watching what I was doing. It brought the whole crowd in, and I gave them fashion tips as I gave them the name of the jewelry. So hopefully, so if you love that one, write down Dominique, okay? That's the wish list and the roller method. Another little phrase I wanted to talk about is write this down, out and abouts, out and abouts. And you know, in my other business, which was like a home product, really, we would train on doing out and abouts and how to get new business as you were out in the world and not at a show. But honestly, it wasn't very successful. We have a great gift here at Park Lane Jewelry because we wear our product. And that is a huge success principle. You have got to get up and put your jewelry on every single day. And I'm going to talk about her. She's here. She's the person helping to video this, named Deb Danielson. But she shared how she would roll out of bed every single day, because she works from home, her other job, put her hair in a pony or something, and go in her gym shorts, no makeup, and go up to 7-Eleven or Quick Trip or something like that to get her coffee, okay, and then go home. And one time she heard the training or whatever, and she's like, you know, even that little 5 minutes every day, maybe I should be doing something different. So she got up, she put on her jewelry, she went to the 7-Eleven to get her coffee, and the same lady that she's seen every day for, am I exaggerating, 10 years? She's going, yeah, 10 years, same lady behind the counter. She goes up to get her coffee and she goes, oh my gosh, I love your jewelry. You look nice today. And Deb booked a showing with her because she had her jewelry on. So first principle, silly as it sounds, put your jewelry on and make sure it's Park Lane jewelry. Put your jewelry on because it's going to start a conversation. One of the main reasons that people should wear jewelry is it's a conversation starter, okay? So I want to make sure you're prepared on what to do. So you're out and about and people say they love your necklace. It's going to happen all the time. If it doesn't happen, then you can make it happen by saying to someone else like, ooh, I love your earrings, okay? You can start the conversation if they haven't started the conversation, all right? So someone says to you, oh my gosh, your necklace is beautiful. I guarantee you that's going to happen to you. This is where you have to know the words, okay? And don't just say thank you and walk away. Or, oh good, I sell it, because that's not going to do you any good at all. What you want to say is something like this. You want to say, and you will forget what you have on. You say, oh my gosh, that makes me so happy because I happen to be in the jewelry business. And they'll say, what company do you work for? And that's when you say, you know, it's really kind of special. It's kind of ritzy. I'm a stylist. I do personal appointments and private showings. And they're like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. And you said, you know, as a matter of fact, you are someone in the very demographic that I would just be thrilled to get together with. I would absolutely love to get your opinion on my jewelry. Do you want to make an appointment with me? Something like that, okay? Be prepared with the words when you're doing your out and abouts, and purposely go to places where you're going to find people in fashion. You know, when I first moved to St. Louis, what brought me here was my job. And my job at that time, many, many years ago, is I used to sell steel, heavy metal, you know. I never, in my whole course of my career, I worked for that company for 10 years in 3 different cities. I don't think anyone from my family or even any of my friends ever bought a single piece of steel from me, you know? And that's what makes me laugh when people go, oh, my family and friends don't wear jewelry. And I'm like, what's that got to do with anything? You want to go to where the people do. And out and abouts are an excellent way to grow your business by going to places where people love fashion. You know, Nordstrom's, Macy's, hair salons, any place where fashion is the name of the game is a great place for your out and abouts. The other little buzzword that I wanted to talk about is one-on-ones. We call them one-on-ones or personal appointments. We do a lot of those in this business. And I always want to give credit where credit's due, because when we started here in the St. Louis area 4 years ago, somebody who was influential in showing us how powerful a one-on-one could be is my senior division, Danielle Napier. And Danielle would be like the first to admit to you. She came from the other business with me. She really didn't want to sell jewelry. She didn't know a lot about jewelry. She didn't feel like personal style was her thing. Boy, you should see her now. So what she did, and in retrospect it was just brilliant, so we've all built it into our daily business, is she made a list of everyone that she could think of that she just thought was fashionable. They just obviously had pride in their appearance. They obviously enjoyed shopping for clothes or jewelry or shoes or purses or whatever. She made a list of those people. And incidentally, this is still a living, breathing list. It's not a stagnant list. She would add to it all the time. And she would call up those people and just say, you know, I can hardly believe this myself, but I am really excited because I'm going into the fashion industry, into the jewelry business. And these people would say, you? Now you could be somebody very fashionable yourself already, so you might not say it that way, but you would say, you know, I have a certain style, or there's certain things that I like, but you're somebody that I've always admired. I've always admired your fashion sense, and it would mean a lot to me if I could just get your opinion, because I really value your opinion. Can I buy you a cup of coffee, or could I run over with my jewelry and just get your feedback? Okay, we started building these into our business where we do them every single week. Danielle had it to a point where she was doing them back to back, like in Starbucks, like 3 a day, and buying him a cup of coffee. Now, here's where the brilliance came in, because she would basically walk in with her little bag and she might have 3 rolls of jewelry, okay? And what she would do is she would begin to unroll the jewelry. And as she unrolled it, of course, people go, oh, and she'd say, I know. And she would give them a wish list, and she'd say, I really want your opinion. So as you see things that you love, write them down. But here's where she took it a step further, all right? On her one-on-one, she would also say, now let me ask your opinion about the customer buying program, okay? And she would describe the good, better, and best buying program. And they would be like, oh my gosh, you know, and she'd be like, I know. She would roll up that roll of jewelry, put it away. Start another roll of jewelry, have them writing down things, putting things on them, seeing what they think, and she would say, now let me ask your opinion about what we do for our hostesses, basically, the people that facilitate the get-together. And she would go over the 5-star hostess program. And they would say, oh my gosh, and she would say, I know. She would roll up that little roll of jewelry, put it away. Take out a 3rd roll of jewelry. And as they're looking at that one, she would say, okay, I want to ask you one more thing. I want to ask your opinion about our profit program. And then she would talk about how we get paid and the potential for income and all the different things. And she would say, so see, you can see why I chose this company. And Danielle would tell you, and I love the way she worded it, she said, it wasn't 98% successful, it was 100%. She goes, every single one I met with either booked a show or decided to sell. And when she saw her calendar going down, she realized that the reason that it was going backwards is because she got away from doing the one-on-ones and what she was really good at. So that's an additional tactic to add to your everyday repertoire above and beyond just doing shows, is to schedule one-on-ones. The last buzzword that I wanted to talk about today with you is alternate venues. Alternate venues. And I touched on this in one of our videos a little bit before, but when I sat down with the people that started with me 4 years ago, there were only 3 of us, and I sat down and I said, okay, here's how we need to approach this. People seem to be kind of done with the in-home show, but they're certainly not done with fashion. In fact, this upcoming generation absolutely adores fashion and absolutely adores jewelry. That's such a gift to us. Let's pretend that Park Lane hired us to market the jewelry. Our job is to establish market recognition for Park Lane Jewelry here in the Midwest. What are we going to do? And we realized that it wasn't through just getting people to have shows or asking people to have shows. We studied and watched and saw what was really popular out there, and we realized that this upcoming generation, and in turn, trends start with the younger people, but they're contagious, that now girls, women, we tend to build girl time into our schedules every single month. Wine and cheese night or happy hour or girls night or whatever. So we're thinking, you know, they love to get together. They love jewelry. It's just something about the idea of the show in the old model that they're not taking us up on. So we learned to offer alternate venues, and they won't think of this themselves, so it's really important that you think of it or that you offer it. So even during an in-home show, if it is a show in somebody's house, I'll say things like, you know, I had so much fun the other day. I was just met this group of girls. I meet them every other month up at their happy hour. They have a standing happy hour. I just take my jewelry into happy hour and we do it right there at the happy hour table. And there will be people that go, oh, like I could do one at happy hour? And I'm like, oh, absolutely. Or I'll say, you know, these girls, they have like a club where they meet for dinner every month. So once every quarter, I take my jewelry up to their dinner club and we do it right in the restaurant. I sit right down at the table with them. And they go, oh. Or I'll say, you know, I very often will just go into somebody's, as a matter of fact, I'm leaving here after doing this video and I'm going to meet some girls at lunchtime, and we're going to do a showing right in their office on somebody's desk. And it's just, they're looking so forward to it. It's like a change in their day. It's like they get to shop at lunchtime. How fun is that? So again, different venues. I've done them in classrooms, where after school, or the library, which is really fun because like they'll do over the PA system that the jewelry show is starting in the kindergarten room or whatever. Very, very fun, but they won't think of those things on their own, so you want to think of the alternate venues. You say, you know, I go up to softball practice. You guys, I mean, kids sports, I had 4 kids. I know what it's like. I'll actually bring a couple rolls of jewelry, go right up into the bleachers with you, and you can look at our most recent jewelry right there in the stands, okay? Play dates. That's a really fun one. I have a group of girls that will put their kids, their school-age kids on the bus, and then their toddlers will have like a brunch, you know, so we'll have brunch, we'll have bagels or whatever and coffee, and we'll do our jewelry showing right there during that time. So it's kind of, again, a break in their day. So really use the gift of alternate venues, and you'll find that that will bring you a lot of success. One of the places that we found that have been right up our alley are like wine stores. You know, like I know there's a chain called Wine Styles. We have one here called Bottle Sellers, but I actually went in and talked to the owner, and he was all about it. You want to talk to the owners, but it's like they sell wine and they do wine tastings, and they want to bring customers into their store. So if you like just reserve the venue, they'll put out the wine and cheese and do the tastings all night for free, and you're using the venue for the jewelry show, and sometimes they'll even put it in there like what's going on this month. So the regular customers are coming in too, but you've brought all these new people into their shop as well, and they absolutely love that idea. Boutiques. I'll go and visit and call on boutiques. Again, personally owned is best, and talking to the owner, and I'll say to the owner, I said, you know, I'm all about cross-marketing, I'm sure you are too, and I said, I can get you some new business. I can bring some new people into this boutique. How about an after-hours wine and cheese, you know? I'll invite people, you invite people, I'll provide the entertainment because I'll do the fashion tips and all that good stuff, and we'll bring new people into your boutique, people who have never been here before, and it'll be a win-win. And that is extremely effective. So put your little thinking caps on, because alternate venues is the name of the game in today's world. So that pretty much does it for the buzzwords this week or this month or whatever. Enjoy and put your creative thinking on, and enjoy selling Park Lane jewelry. I don't like the ending that much, but
we can redo the ending.